Okay. Hello, hello. Penelope, Mark.
No.
How you guys doing?
Hey,
Yeah.
Great. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you guys. Any big plans this Friday?
gardening. Oh, tomorrow's gardening, not today.
Wait, gardening? Which country do you live in?
I'm in a desert. Big, I mean, desert.
There is no gardening in Pennsylvania, I'll tell you that much. There's snow shoveling, ice picking. There's a lot of things happening, but gardening is not one of them. How about you, Pen?
I'm actually headed to the Bay Area tomorrow for a baby shower. It'll be really nice little getaway. Of course, San Francisco's crazy right now, but we won't really be hanging out in the city, just at family's house.
Fun, fun. I love San Francisco. I miss it.
Yeah. How about you, Fred?
This weekend, driving my kids around to wherever they want to go. So I'm my kids' Uber. So driving them around to different locations. That's what I do. When you have kids, you have no life anymore.
Really looking forward to that.
I'm exaggerating a little bit. I'm also probably going to hang out with my wife and have a glass of wine or something.
Hey, Fred, I don't see the stream on LinkedIn, just so you know.
I do.
You
I
do?
see it on top of my profile. So if you go to this link here, you'll see.
Oh, I got it. I had to refresh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if we see it in the event, Pen. Do you see it in the event? That I don't know.
Let me open up. No, it says waiting for broadcast still in the event, but there are a bunch of links in the event to the live stream.
Right. So, and that's where I screwed up. When I created it, I didn't say it was a live broadcast. I said it was a live broadcast as opposed to an external link. So a lot of people could be in the event waiting. So what I would say is if you could just send chats to let people know,
Yep.
how to connect it. That's I messed up there. But anyway. So, all right. Let's get started. So today we're going to take a really, really deep dive into one of our favorite apps, right? Which is MindBody to Shopify. And we call it, what do we call it, Mark?
Shopify Connect.
There you go. Shopify Connect, MindBody. Let's actually look for it. I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to go to a browser and let's see how you find out about it first. So let's do this. So let's go to Google. Where's my Google? Here's my Google. All right, so how do you find Shopify Connect? It's not very hard. You just go to Google and you type Shopify and then MindBody. And here you'll be able to see APIANT Shopify Connect. So that's one way. And then you have a nice little page here that explains to you what this app does. We're very, very proud of it. And we're going to cover everything about it and explain it really well. The other place you can also find it is if you go to the to the partner store in MindBody, you will also be able to go to the store and then do a search for Shopify if you want. So here I'm going to do a quick search for Shopify up here. And here you'll be able to find Shopify Connect with a link to the same page right here. Learn more, and it'll take you right to the same page here. So what is Shopify Connect? Mark, what is Shopify Connect?
Well, Shopify Connect gives you the ability to use a third-party e-commerce site, which is Shopify, to collect sales, products, services, and allow you to push those sales to your MindBody account.
Yes.
and
Yes.
track inventory. Sorry. And also at the same time, keep track of your inventory between Shopify and MindBody.
So Pen, in a nutshell, what is Shopify Connect?
Shopify Connect allows MindBody customers to have an awesome e-commerce experience using Shopify and make the two speak to each other without having to do a bunch of manual work.
Isn't that interesting? How if you ask an engineer what is Shopify Connect, he's going to tell you all of the features. And if you ask a business-minded marketing person, she's going to tell you about the value. Did you notice that? That was really cool. And I didn't even like prompt you guys or anything. You know, it was really cool. And so I'm in between. I'm the nerd and the marketing guy. And so my view of Shopify Connect is it's beyond a doubt one of our top 3 solutions we've ever built. It's incredibly powerful. And the real goal that we put behind building Shopify Connect was that what if you could sell all of your products in your MindBody network, right? All of your locations in MindBody. What if you could sell them using Shopify, which is the best shopping experience that has the most adoption from e-commerce stores around the world? What if you could do this in a very easy, turnkey, painless way to increase your conversion, to increase your sales, to keep track of your inventory, and to reduce a ton of work, a ton of manual work, you know, that you are probably currently doing in trying to, you know, match inventory, post sales, and so forth. But most importantly is, what if you had a solution where it was an incredibly pleasant experience for your customer, the consumer, the customer of our MindBody businesses, in being able to purchase products and services. So that's what I think Shopify Connect is. We have 3 different versions of what it is. We built it over the course of a couple years, and it had many iterations. And I think the most exciting part, as far as I'm concerned, the most exciting part about Shopify Connect is something that we're not going to demo today. And it's the fact that we built it visually with a visual tool, with no line of code. So everything you're going to see here was actually built visually with our platform. The purpose of this meeting here is not to show you how we built it, but to show you what we built, which is a little different than what we usually do during the demo, the Friday demos, right? During the Friday demos, we show you how to use the platform to build stuff. This time, what we're going to do today is we're going to show you what we've built and how it works. And so you might be asking yourself, who is this for? Who is the audience for this demo today, right? So let me come up with a couple of examples of who the audience would be. Number one, if you have a MindBody store, right? Or if you have a business that uses MindBody, you may be a spa, you may be a gym, you may be whatever you are. If you sell products and services on MindBody, which you do because you are a MindBody customer, you should watch this, because this is going to show you the incredible power of what we've built here. You can see here on the bottom, we have a lot of MindBody customers who are currently using this, who are thrilled with the solution. So if you're a MindBody customer, watch this. If you work for MindBody, right? So if you have customers that have MindBody, please watch this too, because you're going to discover something that is going to make your customer very happy, your MindBody business, okay? And we're going to be able to also answer a lot of questions. We'll have some Q&A and everything else. And then the third type of potential audience, if you're a developer or an integrator and you don't use MindBody and you don't use Shopify, watch this. Why? Because what I would love to be able to show developers around the world, I would love to show them, look at the kind of stuff you can build with the APIANT platform, right? This is a perfect example of, wow, APIANT is not just an integration platform. It's a API-based software development platform, and it's no code. So you can build full solutions all visually. So if you're a developer, watch this, because at the end, we may actually pull back the curtain and show you a little bit on how we built it. We're not going to do much of that today. And there are other sessions where we really dig into a solution and we show you how we built it. But it would be really cool for you as a developer who is thinking about developing API-based software to watch a final product that has great adoption, that is doing really well, fully built on the APIANT platform, which is all visual, okay? Does that make sense about the 3 types of people who should be watching this? I'm basically saying pretty much everybody should be watching it, so. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. So how are we gonna go about this demo? So what I really wanted to do is I really wanted to look at this page here and kind of look at, you know, some of the benefits and features that Shopify Connect offers, and then dive into each feature and really explain how it works. Okay. So if you know MindBody, you're going to be at home. And if you love Shopify, you're going to be at a great home. So Mark,
Yes.
out of all these features right here, and I'm going to let you kind of be the director of the show. Out of all these features right here, okay, I'd like to kind of describe each section, and then we're going to decide where we're going to demo first. Okay.
Okay.
So number 1, e-commerce platform connected to MindBody. Okay. So best shopping experience. So we know this. So this is if you sell products in Shopify and want your products or services, right? Products and services
Right.
in MindBody. Sell everywhere. You can actually sell MindBody merchandise and MindBody services right in Facebook now, without having to use, you know, widgets from HealCode or anything like this. You
Right.
can actually connect your Shopify right to Facebook and Instagram and all these social platforms, which is really cool. So this means that you could have a campaign in Facebook, right? You can have an advertising campaign, and the call to action is to buy right there in Facebook. You don't even have to leave Facebook. You can buy it right in there because your Shopify, you know, store is connected to it.
Right.
No expertise needed. Describe to me, I know you've done a ton of onboarding with Shopify Connect.
Yep.
Describe to me the kinds of people that you onboard and what kind of expertise they typically have, or what kind of expertise do you need to have? Because you do need a little bit of expertise in something.
Yeah, it does vary, but most of the time, you know, your average everyday person can manage it. So if they're already managing, you know, you already have a Shopify store, you're already kind of used to, you know, what's happening with Shopify. But if you're brand new, or you're like, oh, I have MindBody, I want to go to a better e-commerce solution. We do a lot of that initial work, you know, for them by exporting their products, getting them all set up in the Shopify. And then from that point forward, they can really manage their Shopify pretty easily. And Shopify is really simple, you know, to use as far as the basics. And they do have a lot of support to help people, you know, set that up as well. So it's doesn't require, you know, rocket science. It's just follow the steps, turn it on, and you're in business.
What if you are a rocket scientist, though? Can you still use it?
You can definitely use it. You just won't have to, you know, you don't have as big a learning curve because you're a rocket scientist.
Okay. But you do need a little bit of background in MindBody. So
Yes.
So in order to be able to be onboarded by us, there are certain things we're going to require you, right? You need to have access to, what do you need to have access to? Like just talk about your admin account or your owner account and all of that.
Yeah, so you definitely have to have access to the owner account to obviously make the initial connection. You know, what I like to say, the engines, right? You have to have the admin access to both your owner access to MindBody, your admin access to Shopify, so we can get the APIs connected, right? And then you really want to be the person that's managing the products and the inventory is best because you understand, you know, where everything is, what's working, you know, barcodes you use, barcodes you don't use, things like that. You want to be that person or have that person involved who's already managing those products and services for you.
Thank you for clarifying that. Penelope, please interrupt us if you see any questions come up, okay, that are topical to what we're saying. We'll definitely cover them, okay? All right, let's talk about the next section. Everything is synced. So, Mark, I'm going to let you kind of lead this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about product syncing first. How does that work?
It works pretty simple. What we sync off of is the barcode from MindBody. So every product that is in MindBody has a barcode. When the product is created, MindBody will create a barcode for you, or you have your custom barcodes that you put in. So we'll use that information, the title, the barcode. We can sync up images, descriptions or not. And then we sync that information to the SKU field in Shopify. And that's what creates the relationship between for the product between MindBody and Shopify. We have to have something that allows us to communicate. And in this case, MindBody is the keeper of the data. So it's your master of your information. And we've set that up in a way that even if you've never had a Shopify store, this is your first time and you're exporting everything, we can send everything from MindBody, the description, the image, the price, the online price, all the way to Shopify. Or if you already have products in Shopify, we can tell it don't sync up the image or the description because you've already spent a lot of time creating that landing page for that product with the way you want it to look.
So what if I sync my products from MindBody to Shopify, and then I decide to change my price in MindBody? Is that gonna sync over to Shopify?
Yeah, so that'll definitely sync over. We have some options in ways that we can sync based on using some different features. One is we can use the sell online feature in MindBody, which was built to use in the MindBody online store. But since you're replacing your MindBody online store with Shopify, we take advantage of that feature to make it easier for you to determine which products you want to sync. And then once that's been identified, when you make the change to the product in MindBody, it will synchronize that to Shopify.
All right, so let's dive into just product sync first, since you just talked about it. So I'm going to share my whole screen now, and you're going to kind of walk us through. By the way, I just want to say something. One of my favorite. Are you seeing my screen?
I am seeing MindBody and the landing page.
Okay, so one of my favorite things to do with Mark is to not tell him what we're going to do before we do it. So he's basically doing the whole presentation here, not only with no rehearsal, but he had no idea he was going to do it before I just asked him. So and I love that about you. I love that you just can't handle it. You're just rock and roll, man. You just, Ted, would you be super stressed if I did that to you?
I think Mark is more of a personality to handle last minute, like on the spot situations.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I'm not asking him things that I know he's never been exposed to. I mean, he does onboardings and he's in charge of that team, so he knows what's up. So.
Mark knows what he's talking about. That's for sure.
So, okay. So here I have my products in MindBody on the right. So we're going to talk about product sync, right?
Yep.
So you were talking, I'm going to stretch this a little bit so you can see it better. You were talking about sell online. Do you want to kind of describe how this works?
Yes, for sure. So the product here, we'll use duffel bag number 2 product since it has a checkbox in the sold online. Mm-hmm. So putting this checkbox means that our system is going to look at that and go, oh, we need this product over in Shopify. And then it's going to then look at all the additional information, right? The title, the description, the price, the online price, and so forth. And that's really what identifies, in this example, to sync that product to Shopify.
Okay. So let's do a test real quick. So I think we have this all set up. So we're going to go. So we have 2 sites here. We have number 2 and number 1. So we're also doing multi-sites, and we'll talk about this in a second here. But first, let's just focus on what you've just described, which is product sync. Okay. So I'm going to, and we haven't done an export here, but here are all the products in site 1. And I have a second site. So this different site ID, right? I have a second site and I only have 1 product that I'm selling here on Shopify. So let's pick another one. I'm going to say, I want to sell a yoga strap.
Right.
Okay. So because we haven't done export, so these are all our products in Shopify. So right now we've only synced duffel bag.
Right.
Okay. So I'm just going to do one at a time, if that's okay with you. Okay. So let's pick, let me just do a save here. And I also have to make sure the automation in the back is running here, and we'll show this after. I just don't want to confuse people. We're just going to focus on Mindbody and Shopify right now. So, okay, site 1, and where's my site 2? Okay. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Site 2, site 1.
Awesome.
All right, thank you. And then we have this nice page here. All right, so let me first uncheck weightlifting belt, water bottle. So we don't want the water bottle up there. We want to sell, and then towel, and then there's a smart water. Shopify this, we don't need this. Okay, so let me just save this. And then we're gonna see how our product shows up. And which one should we do that is not checked? Which one do you want to do, Mark?
Oh, let's do yoga block.
Yoga block. Okay. So yoga block is not on Shopify, and we decide we now want to sell this on Shopify. Okay.
Yep.
And this is, by the way, this is Yoga Studio 1, and this is Yoga Studio 2. Yoga Studio 1 has 2 locations. It has Doylestown and Philadelphia, right?
Yep.
And Yoga Studio 2 has Chicago.
Correct.
Okay. Is the yoga block here? Can we pick someone who's one that is already here? Because I don't have that many products here.
We do weightlifting belt then.
Okay, so weightlifting belt. Okay, so I'm going to check this. Click save. So
Yes.
how long does it take for the product to show up in Shopify?
Takes up to 15 minutes. All of our automations for product sync runs every 15 minutes. So within 15 minutes of making changes and modify, our system's going to run the automation and sync it to Shopify.
Okay, and
or we can run it manually.
Because I was going to say, are we going to all wait 15 minutes?
No. Most people will wait the timer when it's in real life, but in this demo, we're going to manually go to the automation and run the automation from our dashboard.
Okay, so I'm going to change the price here to trigger a change because we didn't do an initial export. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to make sure that it is checked to sell online. Yep. Okay, so let's save that. And I'm going to trigger the automation that you're, just to show everybody, this is where it happens, right? So this is the Mindbody product to Shopify. We'll show the background after, but I'm going to run this manually because we don't want to wait the 15 minutes. And it's going to pick up these products. So 5 different variants. So here's what I would love for you to do. Describe to me what's happening behind the scenes and what we can expect to see here, because we're also looking at variants here. So when we sync products, we also sync variants.
Right. So in Mindbody, you have a product that has variants, right? Color or size. In this example, it's just a weightlifting belt with no color, and it has 5 sizes, right? So our system is going to look at that and determine that in Shopify, and there's a lot of things are happening here because we're running a multi-location. So it's going to create the product in Shopify, title, description. It's going to also detect that there are variants of this product and add those variants into the Shopify product directly for you and assign the locations for that product. So on your Shopify store, you have this weightlifting belt that will have these options of picking a location to purchase from and also your variant options. So in this case, large, small, medium, so forth. So that's really what's happening.
How about inventory? Like, I mean, I really want Shopify to know that I've got 49. I have 49 units of this in Philadelphia, and 0 in or whatever, 49 in Doylestown, 0. Mm-hmm. I want that inventory to be synced. What do I have to do anything extra to get the inventory, or is just syncing this, automatically updating the inventory?
I believe initially that the inventory will sync upon product creation. It will do that on initial.
Okay.
And then we also daily will run a full inventory sync between your products and MindBody and Shopify to accommodate for product replenishment that you may have done throughout the day, right? You had 10 of these weightlifting belts, you just got another 20, and you manually updating MindBody. At the end of or early in the morning, our automation will run and update the inventory. It will always take from what's in MindBody and match it to Shopify because, like I said earlier, MindBody is the master of the data that houses what you're in. So you're managing your products and everything from MindBody in this integration, and we sync it up for you to make sure it's accurate.
Beautiful. So here's a weightlifting belt that we decided to upload. I can see there's 240 in stocks in 5 variants.
Correct.
So let's compare this to our little MindBody here. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variants for this weightlifting belt.
Right.
So now I'm gonna open it up. It updated the picture, brought in the initial description.
Yep.
Has the 5 different sizes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then for
Right.
each size, it has different inventory level, which reflects this, right?
Right.
So, but remember, there's 2 locations, right?
Right.
So how do I know how many there are in each location?
Down at the bottom right on Shopify, it has your inventory location count.
49 and 0. So those locations here, they reflect locations on MindBody where?
From where you have in your MindBody location. So in this particular case, we have our 2 locations in this one site ID.
Okay, so let's take a look. So if we go here in MindBody and we look at business information.
Business information, right. It's going to show your locations.
And these are my locations,
right.
APIANT demo and demo site here. And this one is called Doylestown and this one is called Philadelphia, right? So that's really cool. So as we said, go ahead and sync. It synced the price, the SKU. It knows what tax rate. It syncs the quantity for each location that is in that site.
Correct.
Okay, very cool. You're some kind of a magician.
I am.
All right. So what I would love to do now is really just kind of flip this. And we were just talking about where were we? We were talking about product syncs, right? But I want to move forward, and we'll come back here, right? I want to move forward, and now let's talk to franchises and multi-locations and multi-sites.
Yep.
Okay. So what if I have a different site, right? So now this is site number 2, completely different MindBody.
Yep.
Right. So it's different site ID. And I want to sell the same weightlifting belt in Chicago. So right now we're selling it in Doylestown and Philadelphia, but now I want to sell it in Chicago. How is that going to work? And what is Shopify going to look like? And what would you like me to do to demo this?
Right. So that's an easy solution for us, and we can definitely handle multi-site, multi-location. And so in this case, when we export the product from the second location, it's going to add it in Shopify as a second location. But there's a couple of things that we have to make sure is correct first in the second location, is that remember, MindBody is the master of the data. So the data has to match from one location or one site ID to the next site ID. The information does have to match, okay, which means you want that to be in sync. So you can't have a different barcode in one location.
I got you.
MindBody, you have to have, everything has to match, right? And so ideally you want to make sure that the title and description, all that, and barcode price match when we start, right? This way it all stays in sync from the very beginning.
All right, so let's verify that. So let's go back to those 2 locations. So I have location 1 on the left.
Right.
With 2, I have site 1 on the left with 2 locations.
Yep.
And I have site 2 on the right with 1 location.
Correct.
have the same amount of variance. I have different pricing here. So that's one of the limitations, right? The price
Right.
has to match because the price is really set at the top level and then the inventory is at the location level.
Correct.
All right, so here I would want to make sure first that the price matches. And you remember how I changed the price?
Correct.
So I'm going to put 61 here. Now
Right.
the tax doesn't have to match, but the price has to match, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to do that. Okay. All right, now what do I need to do next to make sure that people can buy the weightlifting belt and they can pick it up from Chicago? Because this is my Chicago location and it's not showing here. What do I need to do?
Well, we need to sync the product. We need to sell it online. We need to
Okay,
market
so-
online so that the automation will pick it up, detect the change, and sync the
I got
product to Shopify.
I got you. And like you said, I need to verify that the barcode here matches.
Correct.
So Pen, I'm going to put you in charge of the barcode. Make sure those barcode match while we can, these barcodes match these, okay? And if you tell me they don't, let me know. And if you tell me they do, we'll save it and proceed. In the meantime, I'm going to switch to APIANT and show how these two sites are kind of synced here. Are we good on the barcodes, Pen?
They look good to me.
Okay, cool. So on the APIANT side, so now I'm switching at the APIANT side. Now let's talk about the APIANT side real quick, because this right here is what we see, and our customers can look into that,
Right.
right? But Pen, your experience from the customers we work with for Shopify Connect and Zoom Connect, what would you say the ratio is of people who actually log in APIANT as opposed to it works and they never worry about it?
Most people do not have to touch the back end of APIANT.
Right. I think that's really kind of like the power of this integration solution, right? Is that, I mean, there's a lot of other integration platforms that you could talk about. You need to get involved in the integration. Here, this is more than just an integration platform. It's, and then just to go back again to this slide here. Which one was it? Right here. That this is not an integration platform. This is a product. And if we expected people to go into APIANT and build stuff or, change stuff that much, it would almost be like, Apple expecting us to open our phone and look at the circuitry all the time. Oh, you want to block a collar? Go ahead and open it, get some screwdrivers and change, connect your FPGA or whatever, and then make some code changes. This is really, explain this to me a little bit, Pen, where what is APIANT doing different here with integration apps as opposed to just being just a platform to do integration?
Yeah, so I think one of the main draws is how quickly you can get it set up, right? Whereas if we have somebody come in with custom integration needs, outside of Shopify, it can take a lot of hours to work with the developer and get it all set up, which is fine for them. But for somebody who just wants the functionality to work and they want to sign up for A, B, and C, this is the perfect out of the box solution. We set it up with you. It takes about an hour per location and you're good to go.
And can it be customized though?
Absolutely. Yes.
So yes, it can be customized to make it work the way you want, but also, and then we'll show this, there are settings where you can adjust how it works based on what you want to do and what you don't want to do. We'll try to reserve a little bit of time for that. Thank you so much for this. That's perfect. Okay, so Pen has verified. She's the adult supervision in this party. So she has told us you guys are good to go.
That's a lot of pressure.
I knew
now I'm checking again.
This is a little bit of an act. I feel like I'm in Disney World and we've rehearsed our dance, but, although I haven't. Okay, so we're good to go. So Mark, I'm going to press save. Okay.
Save.
I'm going to press save and I'm going to switch back to, now this is site number 2. So this is kind of cool, right? So you have site 1 here, and then you have site 2. Let me close this here. Site 1 and site 2.
Yep.
If you logged in the APIANT platform, which you might to make some changes on the integration side, but if you are an admin and you have 50 locations that you manage, or you're the corporate office, you have 50 franchises that all sell their products through the same Shopify, you can actually switch here to all the accounts that are being integrated. And here is site 1 and site 2.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to switch to site 2 here, and I'm going to execute automation number 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to execute it. This time, we're going to pull the curtain back a little bit, a tiny bit, and we're going to show what's happening behind the scenes here. So this is running, and what's going to happen is, how different is this going to look? Is this going to be a new product, or describe what we're going to see differently?
Yeah, so you're not going to see any changes to the title or the description or the price, because we made sure that information matched prior to. What you're going to see down here in the bottom right is that Chicago is going to show up with its inventory count.
Okay, for each of these.
For each product, for each variant, yes.
For each variant, and that's because we chose to do link.
Correct.
I'm sorry, sold online.
Sold online, right?
Sold online. Okay, thank you. You know, part of why I ask you these questions sometimes is I actually do forget, even though I build them, because I built so many other things, and I haven't touched that in probably just a few weeks. Sometime I just want to reassure myself that it works the way I thought it would, and you're the one to help me with that. So, all right, so I'm going to do a refresh.
Great.
So now we have Chicago.
Right.
Chicago has no inventory on this one. It has no inventory on small, no inventory on large. So Chicago doesn't really have many.
Well, it's possible.
Right. And then no inventory on Excel. Okay. But if it did, it would show up. Okay, cool. And then also, interestingly enough, it shows that this particular product variant, that Excel is not sold in Philadelphia. So it keeps track of which product is sold in which location, which really reflects the real world here. You don't want somebody to buy an Excel weightlifting belt in Philadelphia if they're not there.
Right.
So, okay, cool. Let's see what the background is. And this is where I pull the curtain back for just a few seconds.
Right.
So how is this useful to you and your customer success team? How is this visualization of what happened useful to you?
Well, for us, it's a reassurance that, everything worked as it should have, right? And if it didn't, it's going to at least let us know. So then we can diagnose and dive deeper into where did it fail, right? Did somebody add a new product and they didn't put a barcode? Because then it's going to create an issue, because it's going to say there's no, it didn't have a information to sync. So in this case, we're following the green, right? We're following everything that's green. It's a path of the workflow, shows us what happened at each step. We can get information from each step to see what information was being passed along from one step to the next. And then allows us to just follow the path of that execution.
So this automation here ran this automation, and then I'll open the other one, and then we'll stop here because there's other things we want to focus on.
Of course.
Product updates here. I can see quite a bit of stuff, but I can see that this is where the product was created for Chicago or not.
Right.
Right. And I'm going to zoom out here again, just a little aperçu, as we say in my home country, of how we build the software. This is a historical view of the diagram that was used to build. So it's fully interactive, which means you can see the input and output for each step, right? But if I zoom out, you can see this is basically the code base of adding products in Shopify, right? And where it does all the logic and decides what it should do. Should it store data? Should it cache data? All of that stuff is pre-built, obviously. Yeah. Again, like Penelope said, most people never go in that, but like Mark said, it's really useful for us if somebody says this product didn't sync. We don't have to go to your Shopify. We don't have to go to your MindBody. We can come here and do a search for the product name or the product type. We can do a search by, by date.
Yeah.
We can say, okay, so when was that done? And then we're able to tell you exactly what happened to that product sync, why it worked or why it didn't work.
Yeah, and it's very helpful because we're all human. We all make mistakes at times, and sometimes you may add a new product and you forget to put that little checkbox in the sell all 9, and that's going to let us know, hey, this is missing here. Just put that little checkbox in, wait 15 minutes, or manually run it, and you'll be good.
Super. All right, so I think we're ready to kind of move on from sync. So services sync works kind of similar, but slightly different. It's already 1:42, so we've already been 42 minutes just on product sync. But I think we've covered a lot. We've covered about the network. We've covered about, how you have a responsibility as a MindBody customer to make sure that the stuff matches, so the system knows what is what.
Yep.
I'm gonna check all here. Is this working? Well, I'll just check in here. I'm gonna do save, and I'm gonna do an export just so we can see a ton of products, or a lot of these products in Shopify, and then we can move on. So so we'll have some data in Shopify, and I want to start talking about sales as well, okay? Because that's really the point of having Shopify to MindBody integration is to make sales. So we do want to spend a little bit of time on that. So, okay, so I'm just saving this. These are all my products. I'm gonna go to, so I'm gonna go here to MindBody products, Shopify, and I'm gonna do, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do an export.
Are you going to modify the action that we usually modify when we export?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Because we want the inventory on all of them, so. MindBody product. So we'll start with site 1. Yeah, so one of the things when we do an export, we always start with site 1. We start with the main site, the site that's going to go and report sales to different locations, right? The corporate office. You have to pick one. What is your main site? Bless you, Penelope. So here we'll just do export, and let's make sure that all these products are selected as well. And then let's talk about sales. So while I do this, why don't you start talking about sales?
Sales.
Sales. Which
Awesome.
directions, what, how,
Yeah.
when?
Yeah, so we can post sales from Shopify to MindBody. That is what the integration does. That is main function for this is take from Shopify, put in MindBody, right? Because that's what you needed to do when you're using Shopify as your third-party e-commerce. So what we're going to do is, as those sales come in, we have some options that people can use to trigger that sale to be put into MindBody. And it depends on your operations and how you're handling things. But if it's a straight up sale that you need, somebody's buying the weightlifting belt, it's ready to go, it's collecting payment, gets posted to MindBody right away. Okay. So within, seconds, minutes, that sale is going to show up in that client's account in MindBody. I lost my train of thought there for a second. You also have the ability, if you have products that you have to actually verify or fulfill first manually before it's sold, we can trigger based on that in Shopify. So even though you have taken the order, you need to verify it, fulfill it first, and then you can have the option of don't put this order in MindBody until it's been fulfilled in Shopify. Or we can place that order as soon as it's created, before even payment is made. It can be synced to MindBody as well. So we have various options there of getting your sales from Shopify to MindBody. We can also, what's that?
Yeah, you were going to say the other direction.
Yeah, so the other direction is that we can take those sales and post them from MindBody. So something that happens in person, right, in the store, in the studio, that you want to also keep track of in the Shopify account. Now, there's various reasons you may want to do that. You may want to direct all your clients to really make their purchases from your Shopify store. And you may want to have them have the ability to see what they've purchased when they've been in person. So we can post those sales from MindBody to Shopify. And when they log into their Shopify account, they really see the history of what they purchased on Shopify and what they have purchased in person as well.
So, Pen, do you remember that we've worked with a bunch of customers who use Shopify Connect, but there's a very specific type of customer, a MindBody customer that uses Shopify Connect a little differently. Spas that sell products. So we've encountered, spas who want to only sell products on Shopify. Right? Even in the store, because they use the Shopify POS, right? So the Shopify now becomes their POS, and so for these folks, and often these folks could also be in other countries where there's no payment processor, for instance, for MindBody, right? Talk to us about how, and I know that we can do this, and maybe Mark can describe how we do it, but how important it is that when your customer just gets a massage or gets their service, completed, and they're ready to purchase, that you don't want them to swipe their credit card into two different systems.
Right. Yeah. So I think especially for spas, a lot of it comes down to the client experience. I personally love going to spas, and I want that checkout process to be seamless and super easy. And you're going to a spa to get that, the wellness aspect, but also it needs to be beautiful. And the whether that's the experience of getting the treatment itself, or also just the experience of dealing with the systems. You want it to be just, right, smooth and easy, and I don't want to have to wait for you to take my money, right? So, yeah, I'll let Mark on the technical side. I'm not sure.
So Mark, describe to us how you do this. So what if I want to be able to use the Shopify POS? And then, by the way, Shopify POS is part of the part of the Shopify offering, and some people use it, right? So Shopify POS system, it's a point of sale, and you have different hardware that can come with it, but it looks just like this. And some people just want to do this to check out the customer for everything, for the service and for the merchandise right off the shelf. And they want that merchandise to sync with the online store to make sure if there were two, cream or I'll tell you about my favorite moisturizer has avocado in it. So if they had two little thing of avocado moisturizer on the shelf left and they sold one, they want that to be reflected on their online store as well. So Mark, describe to us what we did in order to make that happen on the checkout process and how we do that.
Right. So I know we haven't touched base on services yet, but in this example, that if you're using Shopify POS and they're buying another package of massage, and they're purchasing the avocado cream at the same time, that can all be sold through the Shopify store and purchased with that merchant processor. It's tied to Shopify all at once, and that information gets immediately sent over to the MindBody account. That accomplishes a couple of things. One, it prevents you from having to sell the product separately in Shopify and then go over to MindBody and sell the service. It's keeping it to one transaction, and then at the same time, it's allowing them to rebook from their MindBody application. Because the service is available to use at that time, because we've just sold it and transferred it to MindBody.
Well, so now let's talk about the Shopify POS though, because you talk about Shopify to MindBody, but what I'm asking you is, somebody scheduled a massage with their MindBody app. They went, they got that, they haven't paid for it yet. They went and they got the massage, and then they go to the front desk. They're ready to pay with their credit card.
Right.
And then they say, give me, I will take the last two, just one. They're going to leave one. They're going to take one avocado cream. Right. And they want to be charged once. And we want to do this in Shopify POS. What does the person do in MindBody? What does the admin do, or the front desk person do in MindBody in order for that order to show up in Shopify POS?
Oh, I'm sorry. So they're selling it in MindBody. Is that what you're saying? Because
Right. So it was scheduled in MindBody,
right.
and now they're ready to pay for it, and they want the transaction to go just once for the massage and for the cream. Talk about the Shopify POS payment method. Okay. All right.
All right. Well, I thought I described that earlier, but
No,
yes.
because I think you went the other way around. You went from Shopify to MindBody.
Well, Shopify POS, as soon as you sell it in Shopify POS, it's sending it as if it's coming from Shopify to MindBody. But
We're not talking about that. So okay.
I'll let you do it because I
So
think
I'll-
that you
okay,
have a
that's
different
not what I'm
direction.
talking about. Okay. What I'm talking about here is they schedule it in MindBody. Okay.
Mhm.
So now the appointment is in MindBody.
Correct.
Okay. They haven't been to Shopify yet.
Right.
Right. So now they finished with the appointment. And now the front desk person needs to see that appointment in Shopify. Right?
Yes.
With the cream. So when they check out, so I'll show you how this works here.
Yeah,
And
so-
I know you know this, but I don't think I expressed myself well enough for you to
I think you're
understand.
talking about selling it in MindBody and pushing the Shopify POS payment method,
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
which is then going to send it to Shopify. So it
Right.
shows up as a paid order in Shopify, but the money was collected in MindBody.
No.
All right. No, that's right. Because I use Shopify POS payment method. It is not. It's then going to allow you, because the order is now in Shopify, you can actually collect payment in Shopify for that product.
Bingo.
For that sale.
That's exactly right.
All
That's
right.
exactly right. So you have your appointment in MindBody appointment, right? And when
Yes.
you check it out, you're going to have a Shopify POS payment method.
Correct. Yes.
When you do that, magically that order shows up in the Shopify POS, right? Which is this thing right here. Okay. And then you can add any other products they might buy off the shelf. And then you have one transaction.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
I know you know this because you've done it many
Yes.
times, but you misunderstood what I was asking you. Okay, cool. All right, super. So, all right. Am I still sharing my screen here?
Yes.
And then here, let's take a look at the products, see if some have shown up. So we did an export. So these are all the products showed up magically. Some in different, so, the run jack is always my favorite because there's so many of them. So take a look at how much time you've saved here. You've got all your products, all the run jackets with all different sizes, different colors. So here they are, any day. And then we're going to do a sale, okay? Wow, okay. Okay. All right. Hello.
Yeah. Let's go Shopify.
Okay, so here are the run jackets. So we've got different colors and different sizes. So that's important to mention too. We keep track of different variants. So just like a retail store, first it starts with color, and each color has all the sizes, right? Yes. One of my first jobs that I worked at when I was 24, 23, no, 22, 21 actually, in California, I worked at Polo Ralph Lauren in a store, and I learned all about retail when I was 21, and I learned how to fold. They teach you how to fold so well. Like to this day, I fold my clothes so well just because I learned at Polo Ralph Lauren. Because when you didn't have a customer, you had to clean the shelves, and there's a technique to be able to fold these clothes. But what I learned from that, aside from other things, is I learned that in retail, first color, size second, because you stack the colors together with all the sizes, right? So this works very, very much the same way. So here you have all your sizes. Some of them didn't have a picture in MindBody, so you can add them here. But navy blue, for instance, run jacket, there's 197 in all the stores. it's available in Doylestown and in Philadelphia and not in Chicago. And there's 97 here. Okay. So now that we have all kinds of products, let's make some sales. How would you like me to do this, Mark?
Oh, to make a sale in Shopify, you'll just go to.
Yeah, let's start in that direction, right? We're going to do a sale in Shopify and we're going to have it show up in MindBody. So just give me some directives here and I'll follow.
Right. So since it is Shopify Connect, we're going to start in Shopify under orders.
Okay.
On your left side menu.
Okay.
And then you can click the green create order button in the middle of the screen.
Okay, so we're creating an order as an admin as opposed to a customer buying it themselves, which is fine, right? But this is mainly for the demo. But if I wanted a customer to buy it themselves, we could always do one where, okay, this is obviously the store is not done well, but if I was looking for the run jacket here,
right.
The store hasn't been configured, right? Because it's a brand new store. But this is the run jacket. And then here I can say run jacket. I can choose my size. Where's my size? Run jacket right here. And then here I have all, so you see, it's a nice experience, even though we really haven't even configured. I just created the store before the call. And we were ready a second before the demo. Right. But look how out of the box quickly. I mean, you've got incredible, feature set out of Shopify. So navy blue, extra large, add to cart. There you go. And then view my cart. Right. I could buy it this way. And then here I can decide which location I'm going to pick it up from. But we're going to do it in the back end, like you said. Okay, so we're going to do a run jacket. Is that okay?
That's totally fine.
Okay. All right, run jacket. Let's do Ocean Excel.
Okay, great. We'll need to pick a customer.
Okay, so
maybe Chester Barnes or whatever you got.
I'm gonna create a customer here. Who are we gonna sell this jacket to? Let's sell it to. What's your dad's name, Penelope?
My dad's name is Jeff.
Jeff Too Good. Okay, and then it's gonna be Jeff Too Good and I'm just going to put example.com because we're not going to tell people what your dad's email is. Okay, and then let's say he lives 120 South Main Street in Doylestown. Okay, so this is where he lives, which he doesn't really live there. Okay, so before we move forward here, Mark, give me a little bit of an education on taxes and how taxes are going to translate between Shopify and MindBody.
Right. So the taxes are going to, we're going to ensure that the taxes that are coming from Shopify and that total that's coming from Shopify all line up to match the totals in MindBody, right? So it's going to calculate, it's going to verify that the taxes are being applied, and we're going to make sure that that information does pass through.
Right. And taxes are pretty tricky in the US, right? So we can support taxes all over the world, but taxes are tricky in the US because every state potentially has different tax bracket, and potentially even city and counties have different tax bracket, right?
Right.
One of the reasons we chose Chicago as a demo is because the city of Chicago has a higher tax than other smaller towns in Illinois. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure we could do some testing here. The good news is APIANT is going to be able to make sure the taxes match exactly between MindBody and Shopify.
Correct.
Where do I go in MindBody to find out what my tax brackets are?
So you'll go to Manager Tools, and then you'll click on Settings. And then on the top left of that section, you'll click on Business Information.
All right, so Manager Tool, Settings, Business Information.
Yeah, and then I believe it's the second or third option, Tax Rates.
Right here, Tax. Okay, so here I have Pennsylvania tax and Philadelphia tax.
Correct.
Now, the cool thing about Shopify is that you don't have to enter this.
Right.
Shopify will determine that based on the location of your store.
Correct.
So, yeah, and then the other thing for people to understand too is nexus, right? You have to have a nexus in that locality in order for you to collect taxes. If you're a small business, right, you are not obligated to collect taxes for everybody around the country. That would be crazy. I mean,
Correct.
imagine if you had a small gym in Dorson, Pennsylvania, and somebody bought a jacket from Oregon. You're not required to collect taxes from Oregon, because otherwise you'd have to send that tax to
Right.
the Oregon authorities.
Right.
And there are hundreds of different tax, organization or what is the word? Offices around the
Right.
country. You would get ruined just with your accounting bill. Now,
Right.
we're not here to offer tax advice, but we can tell you that Shopify is very good with taxes.
Correct.
So if you have a store in Philadelphia, you're obligated to collect state tax for Pennsylvania. If you have a store in Chicago, you're obligated to collect state tax for Illinois, but that's about it. So if somebody from California buys, right, in your store, because remember, MindBody before, everybody was buying, they were coming into your physical store, everybody got charged tax.
Right.
But now they may not be charged tax, right? Somebody from California might buy. Well, the good news is we're able to recognize that, and we will switch off the tax for that transaction because that person is not in your nexus.
Right. And this is more of a MindBody. This is where people need to know in MindBody, because in MindBody, if you have a product marked as sales tax in MindBody, and Shopify does collect that sales tax because it's in an area, it sells that product with no tax because of the location. When it posts to MindBody, our calculations are going to adjust that so that the totals match, even though that product in MindBody is said to collect tax. So that's important that the totals, from one platform to the next match, but you have one platform that says no sales tax, and you have another platform that says there is sales tax.
Right. And the good news is now the new version of the API allows us to turn off the tax. So,
Awesome.
so that's awesome. Okay. So I just placed an order, right, with a brand new guy. He sounds like a really nice guy, by the way, Jeff Toogood. And Jeff Toogood just bought an ocean blue run jacket. What am I expected to see in MindBody now?
Well, we know that we're assuming Jeff does not exist in our MindBody. It's the first time he's visited our store, and he has just purchased this run jacket. And during that process, we're going to now create an account for Jeff Toogood so that we can post. What's that?
We're going to create the account automatically because it sounds like it's something
I'm sorry. So yeah, when I say we, it's like I'm not going to jump down in front of your computer and like,
right.
Hey, hold on. Yes, the automation is going to create an account for you on the back end secretly with the API, and take Jeff's information from Shopify and put it into MindBody, and then we're going to post that sale to that account in MindBody.
Thank you. So here's Jeff. Here's Jeff Toogood. He just bought pen. I think because we've used his name, I think we owe him a run jacket now. Send it to him. So he's been created here with his information, right, and his address and everything else. And the purchase that he just made in Shopify shows up right here with the exact same total like you were describing. Mm-hmm. And now we have a receipt in MindBody for that purchase of the product.
Right. And that payment method is Shopify.
Payment method Shopify, exactly, with the same tax as what Shopify
correct
connected. And by the way, if you want to know how that happened behind the scenes, this is what it looks like. Again, we're not here to describe to you the process, but just so you know, a ton of engineering behind the scenes, all visual. And you always hear me pitch this because that's why I'm into this thing. I'm not, I didn't get into this just because I wanted to build integration between Shopify and MindBody. I was into this thing because I really wanted to create an incredible platform with our team. I didn't create it, but our team, that can create incredible solutions. And the fact that all the logic to do what we just saw is visual is really freaking cool. I mean, you know, this is cool stuff, right? This is the code base behind the scene. Pen, don't you think this is cool?
I think it's so cool. I love that. As a salesperson, you want to know that you're selling something that can be supported really easily, because then people will come back to you and want your help, right? So you want to kind of mitigate that that need. And I mean, our support team is fantastic in itself, but the ability for them to see exactly where something went wrong so easily and like pinpoint that issue. I mean, we rarely have issues in the first place, but when we do, it's like it's so easy for our support team to fix it. So I don't get all that backlash from, we have all happy customers. So
Right.
easy.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the other thing too that really makes this approach, or this approach, the fact that we build these solutions visually, and then I'll switch here to our page if I can find it. I think I was, which one was it here? Where was my landing page? Right here. No, where was the landing page? All right, I'll open a new one. So MindBody, Shopify. What I wanted to talk about this too, Pen, because that I think, by the way, great SEO, right? Anything worth doing is worth doing right? So number one. Not that I'm bragging or anything. Okay, so let's talk about pricing here, and then we'll talk about sales in the other direction. But when we talk about this here, the fact that this is actually built visually, that the aspect of, or the fact that it's built visually also allows you to do something else with it. It allows you to customize for very specific kind of bigger businesses who want it to work slightly differently. They want to handle the inventory differently. So talk to us about how some of those customers engage with us and what this means for them.
Right. So it is a very scalable product. So like you said, if somebody needed custom work done, totally doable. It all comes down to price. We charge $79 for a single location. You get everything that we described. You get a 7-day free trial of the integration, and that is following a one-on-one onboarding that takes about an hour, like we said before. And that'll include 500 products in Shopify, listed in Shopify. Now, as you add locations, as you scale your business, we'll charge $49 for those additional locations, and that's per month. So you'll be looking at the $79 for one location and then a $49 fee for additional locations. So we discount that a little bit for additional locations. And that's about it in a nutshell. If you have multiple locations, feel free to talk to our sales team. We love helping our customers out as much as we can. But I think the pricing is pretty low. I mean, I don't see how most people can afford this product if they have the need. So,
right. And then what I also want to talk about is this custom logic here and custom additional apps. So I just want to kind of put this in perspective, because I don't know of any other company doing this in the world. Full software solution, and we're seeing it firsthand, right? Like Penn said, turnkey. Okay. And again, it sounds like I'm just pitching what we have here so bad, but I'm also opening it up for what is the potential for other developers out there and other integrators, right? You now have a platform that allows you to build full software solution. Okay. But how many software solutions that are full-fledged like this do you know, where the customer says, hey, we'd like your software to work a little differently. Can you do it? No, the answer is no. I'm sorry. Well, we can see if what you want is on our roadmap, but which software company is going to say to you, you know, I'm going to go to Apple and say, you know what, I really like we should do this one day. I really like the iPhone, and it has, 1 terabyte, but I would love it if the iPhone could work slightly differently. I wanted to do something that you hadn't even said it could do. Could you do this for me? I want to pay for it. What are they going to say to you? And the same with software. You pick anything. Go to QuickBooks. Say, hey, I want it to work slightly differently. You can't do that.
Right.
This is why I feel this is so unique, because now as a software solution you can build, right, as a developer or as
Right.
an enterprise or as a SaaS company, right?
Right.
You can build software solutions, offer it to your customers, and for those who have a little bit of a sophisticated need or a different need, somebody says, I love Shopify Connect, but I also want to do logging to a BI tool. I want to log all those sales to data box so I can have a visual of what's happening. Or I want to include an SMS component to this. I want all these sales to also, the receipt to be sent as an SMS to my customers, right? Can you do it? Well, the answer is yes. And why is it yes? Well, first of all, it costs $200 extra per month for us to do it, and then $100 per additional app. And then we charge you to build at $100 an hour. But why are we saying that we can't do this? Because it's visual. Because we don't have to go into this code base and say, hey, let us look at these 10,000 lines of code, and we're going to try to make it happen for you. All we have to do often, because when to customize it for you, it's just a matter of hours. It's not a matter of days and weeks and months, right? If you say I wanted to do an SMS component to this Shopify Connect, and you are okay to pay for that additional cost because it's a little higher cost for us to support because we need to customize it, right? Well, most likely we would just come to this automation here, and we'd say, okay, so when do you want to send the SMS to the delivery guy, right? Because you could sell pizza through Shopify. I don't know, whatever it is. When do you want to send the SMS to the delivery guy with the order and the address? Well, we want to do this when the order is completed and verify that it's paid. Okay, so let's do this at the end here. What we're going to do at the end of this logic here, we're going to add a component, and we're going to say, all right, let's do it. We're going to send an SMS, and here I would have to add the app and then add SMS, which I don't have it connected here. But this is why I just keep on saying this platform is amazing, because not only do we build software solutions, but we can also customize it for those who have more sophisticated needs. I know I ranted a little bit here, but I do get excited about this thing.
No, it's fantastic because there's not really people can't do what we do. I mean, people try, but it's just so unique that you have the ability to do this. I mean, you try another platform, which will remain unnamed, and you can't go in and just do like this.
Well, no, you can build this much logic with this much, it's like building circuit boards. So anyway, thank you for indulging me in talking about this. And I know I was leading you toward talking about custom logic. Okay, so the order is here. Sorry, where was it? Now I got lost. Okay, so the order is here and it worked.
Yep.
We've got 15 minutes left on our clock here, and I don't want to run above. Can we do the other direction?
Yes, for sure. We're gonna
post this. Should we do a service too? So let's sync our services maybe and see what happened.
Awesome.
Because we haven't done that. Okay, so here are products. Right now, it's only physical products, right? All our products are finally synced.
Right.
Some of our out of stock and everything else. Let's sync our services. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I have so many windows open, I'm kind of losing track here. All right, so let's move this over here. All right, so I'm gonna do MindBody services to Shopify from location 1. I'm gonna execute, and I'm gonna export those. And then we're gonna do it from location 2. So when we install this, you really want location 1 to be done before you do the other, child locations. But in the meantime, we're going to get ready with the order. So, Mark.
Yes.
Walk me through it. Can I sell a service to somebody here?
Yes, you can. So you're going to go to retail in MindBody.
Yes, sir. Should we sell it to Jeff?
You can sell it to Jeff, and Jeff already has an account in Shopify, so it will sync up to his account.
Exactly. So that because he came from Shopify originally.
Right. And now
Ben,
he's
I need
decided,
your advice here. What would Jeff like? What do you think he would like?
He might like some free classes. No.
She picked the one.
Is that the right answer? Can we not do that one?
No, we
Everyone
actually can.
likes free
We
classes.
actually can. No, we can do free classes as well. We used to not do, and we fixed that. I think 3 months ago. We used to not be able to do sales with $0, but we can do it now. But let's do something else though, just in case.
Maybe lifting classes.
Okay, so Jeff is going to do lifting classes, which is going to work great with his run jacket. We should have sold him a weightlifting belt.
Yes, next time.
All right, and then he's going to get a pack of what? Of you want to do a single class, or what do you want to do?
He just wants to try one for now.
Okay, he's just going to do a single class. All right, Jeff. All right. So we're going to say add item here. Did you see our silence when you went? He wants some free classes. We're like,
I knew right away. I was like, oh, I didn't choose the right one.
I just remember that it wasn't working for a while, and then we had to fix it, but we got it fixed, so it's fine. Actually, we need this to finish before it shows up. So we're gonna wait before, and he's gonna pay cash. Okay, and before I complete the transaction. Before I say save, no receipt, I just want to make sure that the single class has shown up in the Shopify store. So we're going to look at the Shopify store here. Look at all products right here. And then, what was it called again? It was called
single class.
Single class pass. All right. Okay, so single class pass. Not yet. I should have done export before. All right, so let's describe what's going to happen.
Right.
So,
yep. We should see what products have already, or services have already synced up into Shopify.
Oh, here they are. So that's cool. So I did an export from site 1. As soon as this is done, so 15 out of 43, there was a lot of services on there. But just to show you the way this would work, obviously those now are services, right? They don't have an inventory. So if you look at, let me see if did the single class show up yet?
Yes.
Right here. So here's his single class. So they're slightly different, right? They're not a physical product. You're now selling a service. As a default, we use the logo that we upload to the APIANT account, okay? And this one is available in 2 locations, Doylestown and Philadelphia, because when you buy a service on Shopify, right, you need to decide if you want to use that service in which location that's connected, okay? So when we took that service from MindBody and then we synced it with Shopify, we kept track of all the locations that it's available in. So if I ever buy it directly in Shopify, which some people like to do this, right? So if I come here and I say, hey, I want to do a single class, $15, right? And I need to know where I'm going to take that class, where I can decide I want to do it in Philadelphia or in Doylestown. And then when I connect Chicago, that will be the other location. So you can imagine now, going back to our how powerful this is, because going back to this piece right here, now you can sell in 2 directions, right? You can sell any service in any site that will go to the same Shopify, or you can buy any service on Shopify and it will be posted to the right site in any direction for services and products, okay? So this is where services look a little different. They have the location automatically created in MindBody. So we should be ready to go. I get a little nervous when this is not done, but I should be good. So I'm going to say save no receipt now. Boom. So Jeff just bought a single class in MindBody.
Correct.
Okay. We have 9 minutes left, and I know exactly what I want to talk about. So now this sale for Jeff should show up in his Shopify account, right? When this is done. So let's look at which automation does that. MindBody orders to Shopify. Let's see if it worked. Oh, it's working now. You can see it's automatically syncing. Boom, it's there. Let's go to Jeff. So I'm going to go to orders. So we have our 2 orders. We have the original order that we got. I'm sorry. We have the original order that we placed in Shopify. And now we have this new order coming from MindBody. And you notice here, by the way, that an order that was placed in MindBody has a MindBody tag, right? So
Right.
now I look at this order here, and I see that Jeff placed a single class. It was fulfilled because he bought a service right on in MindBody.
Right.
And that worked. That's beautiful. Okay, so the next question then is, I love what you have. It does a ton of things. You've only shown me 5 out of 60 things that it does, but I really don't want my MindBody sales to show up in Shopify,
No problem at all, sir.
because that's a problem for me. Now, you may have a company that says, or a business that says, oh, I love this because I'm doing a point system in Shopify. Everything that is bought in Shopify or in MindBody, I want to show up in Shopify. Right. But I'm one to say, I don't want them to see their services sale in Shopify, right? How do I turn this off? And do I need to buy the custom code? And is it going to cost me $200 a month? This is the other part of the customization that I wanted to talk about, Mark.
Yeah. So for those options, those features that come with the base plan, it's not considered customized, even though you're going to have some partial customization here. Right. So we lost our share screen. Oh, there we go.
I just wanted to show this.
So we give you the ability to modify certain settings, as we call it, in your Shopify Connect. So these do have to be modified from your APIANT account. So once you log into your APIANT account, you will go into the main menu in the top right and click on Shopify Connect settings. Okay. Now, initially, when you click on that, you're going to see everything that is the settings. That might be a little much. So you can go through the main menu in the middle and go by category. In this case, we want to determine I believe it's the MindBody order settings, which is like the 4th or 5th down. And this is not what I was wanted. So we'll go back and we'll try again. I believe it's the Shopify order settings then, because we're sending it to Shopify. So we do not want to have those sales go from MindBody to Shopify. So we would deselect these options here. So we're going to do check. You could just turn them all off. This ensures that everything is off and that we're not posting any sales, whether they're products or services or anything else, to Shopify.
What if I said, hey, you know what? Only if I sell a product.
Oh, that's easy.
In MindBody, do I want that sale to show up in Shopify, but not services?
Yeah, so we have to ask the question, okay, you want some sales, so we have to click the first box, right? Because we do want to post sales from MindBody to Shopify, and then we select which items that we want to post. So in this case, it would just be products. So it would be the 3rd option, and then you would uncheck the bottom option since you don't want to sync any other options. If this is the only thing that you wanted to sync or product sales, this is what it would look like.
Others is tips and
account payments, things like that.
Right. So here it would only post. Now, what if I don't want to post sales, but I still want my inventory to sync? When I sell something from the shelf, I want the inventory to sync to Shopify, but I want this. If I turn this
so
off,
you turn all this off, right? And also just to let you know, this is an instant save, right? As soon as you click it, there's no, hey, I asked my mom if it was okay or anything like that. It's good. It's ready. So go to the middle menu again, Shopify order settings. And then we're going to go to, I believe, product settings and see. Okay, so here we have option. It's about 5th from the bottom. It says sync inventory adjust, right? So as long as this item is checked, it's going to synchronize the inventory regardless if your posting sales is turned off or on.
Perfect. So what we're demonstrating here, back to what we were talking about, Penn, you can do a lot of customization or adjustment without having to pay for a custom plan, because all of this allows you to decide how the product works, how this whole system, this whole solution works. You can post sales in one direction, not in both. You can decide not to post services. You can decide to sell services or not sync them. There's all kinds of options on what you can do here, right?
Yep.
Right. So true.
Right. So I just want to spend one more minute to show you this, because to me, this is the big epiphany that we had 3 years ago at APIANT, right? What are we looking at here? Now I'm gonna get a little bit behind the scenes again. I'm gonna pull the curtain again, right? So let me just show this. So I'm gonna share my whole screen. What are we looking at here? And I get just so excited about this. I don't know why, but I really get excited about this. People might be thinking this guy is insane, but I really get excited about this. Because what is this, right? Wait a minute, this is just software, right? You have software with different settings, that's fine. Okay, you build software and you have settings. What is there to be so excited about? Well, what's so exciting about it is this. Take a look at this. It's still visual. Meaning, when you, the customer, right, change these settings, when you say filter mind body products, right? Let's pick one in particular. So remember how we said Shopify order settings, and we said post mind body sales to Shopify. Yes. As a customer, it's very easy to decide to do this or not to do this. What is the impact here? Well, the impact is that when you check yes here, let me go to the automation that runs this. So when I go to the automation, mind body orders to Shopify, right? This is exactly what this is. Mind body Shopify orders, mind body post mind body sales to Shopify. When I open this automation, watch this, Pen. Mind body orders to Shopify. Again, all visual, but it will consult how you set that setting to decide how it's going to perform or how it's going to continue, right? So the settings are separated from the logic, right? So when I come here, right? So get Shopify Connect order settings right here. So I think we did one, right? So let's take a look at it. So here, mind body orders. So we had one. So let's take a look on the historical view. When it ran, it actually checked what was his settings, right? Did he say he wanted to post sales to Shopify or not? So the settings separated from the logic. So let's take a look exactly where this happened. It came here and it says get Shopify order settings right here. And it said, right here, post mind body sales to Shopify was true. You see that? This was checked to true. And then below, when it came to post the sale, lower, right here, it said, was it checked to true or false? It was true. Oh, okay. He said he wanted to post orders to Shopify. Therefore, I'm going to continue to the right and post the order to Shopify. Had he said no, I would have taken the left and I would have said it's false. And here you can say this last order was set to true when we created it. Now, why all this excitement? Well, all the excitement is because now that solution, right? That solution right here, this mind body to Shopify, this Shopify Connect solution, this software we've built, right? I can make all the changes that I want to the logic, right? So we can keep on upgrading it. We're on version 2.0 right now, 2.03 or 2.06, I can't remember, right? We have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of customers using this, right? And as an admin for APIANT, again, I'm talking to developers now, right? Or I'm talking to enterprise or to SaaS companies. As you're building this, out of your thousands of users who are using what you've built, they are all using it slightly differently based on the based on the settings they've chose. One said he wants to post sales to Shopify, and the other one said she doesn't. And the other person said they want to sync services. The other one says they don't. One says they have 500 products. The other one has 1,500 products, right? When you make a change from 201 to 202, right? And this is where I'm going to stop this presentation here. When you make a change, I'm going to go to our main account here. And you go from 201 to or 202 to 203, and we've added all kinds. Like for instance, we are about to launch a new feature that with Shopify Connect, which is to support gift cards, right? When we have gift cards all ready and all tested and all ready to go, all we have to do Shopify Connect, deploy all to all my linked accounts. These are all my customers that are using Shopify Connect, right? And there's a bunch, right? I deploy it to all my linked accounts, and now everybody benefits from that new feature, even though they are all using it slightly differently because they have different settings. So what I've described here is nothing magical when it comes to software development, because that's the way software works, but it's something magical when it comes to an integration platform building software.
Right on.
3 minutes late. There were no questions, right, Pen?
No, I haven't seen any.
Thank you so much. I know that I took you guys through some questions, like leading questions, as we say, where I knew where I wanted you to go, and I didn't prep any of you guys. You guys were such good sport, and I know you know your stuff, so I felt very comfortable asking you. This was really cool. I really enjoyed this because I'm so proud of this app. I think we need to do the same for Zoom Connect, and then we need to do the same for all the other stuff that we have, like HubSpot and with MindBody and ActiveCampaign, which are just as complex and really, really solid solutions. You guys have a fantastic weekend, and I really appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks, Fred. Good job.
Thanks, Fred.
Bye.